Han Hong's team banned from disaster relief in earthquake area. Gansu Red Cross scandal exposed. Xi Jinping convenes Central Rural Work Conference. Food crisis remains a significant issue. Chinese enterprises buying land in the U.S. near B-2 stealth bomber base raises concerns. Beijing is using economic corridor to assimilate Pakistan's economy. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Han Hong's team banned from disaster relief in earthquake area. Gansu Red Cross scandal exposed. The earthquake, which struck Jishishan County in Linxiao Prefecture on December 18, caused extensive damage and casualties. In the severe winter conditions, with temperatures dropping to -15 degrees Celsius, many were left homeless and in urgent need of aid. Several Chinese companies and foundations offered support. According to mainland media reports, well-known Chinese singer Han Hong organized a rescue team and personally led the group to the disaster area to participate in the rescue efforts. On December 19, the Han Hong Love Charity Foundation announced a donation of 2 million yuan, about over $280,000, including 1 million in cash and 1 million in goods, to the affected areas of Gansu and Qinghai provinces. The focus is on cold weather supplies and self-heating food. On the evening of December 19, Han Hong posted, "Thank you to my friends in the entertainment industry." The Han Hong team has already set off for the disaster area. By the evening of the 19th, the Han Hong Foundation had received donations totaling 7.655 million yuan, about $1.07 million, from 25 artists and 4 music and film companies. However, on December 23, the Han Hong Love Charity Foundation suddenly announced the closure of its fundraising channel. This news sparked widespread attention and speculation. The official website of the Han Hong Love Charity Foundation shows that the fundraising for the Gansu Earthquake Emergency Support Project has ended, with a total of 65.69 million yuan, about $9.205 million, raised. Independent commentator Wang Weimouth posted on Twitter, on December 23, the Gansu branch of the Red Cross Society of China criticized Han Hong by name, ordering the Han Hong Foundation's rescue team to immediately withdraw from the disaster area, close the donation channel, and transfer the over 60 million yuan, about $8.41 million, in donations received to the Red Cross account. Multiple mainland portals also reported on the news. Netizens commented, "The Gansu earthquake has put the Red Cross in an awkward position, with many people donating to Han Hong instead of the Red Cross. It's a pity that professionals have become unemployed, and amateurs have taken on the responsibility. Why has this happened? When you turn a public welfare organization into a personal business, who will believe in you?" There's also analysis suggesting that the authorities banned private rescue teams from entering the disaster area to avoid overshadowing the official rescue efforts. After the authorities requested social rescue forces to leave the disaster area, netizens also exposed the Gansu Provincial Red Cross's dubious practices in this relief effort. A whistleblower reported that the Gansu Provincial Red Cross significantly overpriced relief supplies after a recent earthquake. Hand warmers were listed at 500 yuan, about $70, compared to their online average of tens to just over 100 yuan. A 12-square-meter cotton tent, similar to one priced at 529 yuan on an e-commerce platform, was bought for 2,200 yuan, about $308.28. Additionally, a package of 5 kilograms of rice or flour and 900 milliliters of cooking oil, along with cotton clothes and quilts, were priced at 80 and 100 yuan each, from about $11 to $14, respectively. Moreover, a management fee of 1.62 million yuan, about over $227,000, was levied on these goods. The whistleblower highlighted that these prices were significantly higher than market rates, emphasizing that bulk purchases should typically cost less, not more. These revelations led to widespread scrutiny, with official CCP media outlets and the Gansu Provincial Red Cross quickly denying any wrongdoing. Despite these denials, the Red Cross's history of scandals, including past incidents of financial mismanagement and luxury spending, has contributed to a severe loss of public trust and a decline in donations. This situation illustrates ongoing issues with the CCP's control over charitable organizations and the Red Cross's integrity, raising questions about the effectiveness and transparency of disaster relief efforts in China. Xi Jinping convenes Central Rural Work Conference. Food crisis remains a significant issue. In Beijing, the Central Rural Work Conference concluded on December 20 with a speech by CCP General Secretary Xi Jinping, addressing China's 2024 agricultural strategy amidst the country's ongoing reliance on importing over 100 million tons of grain annually. Xi highlighted the challenges faced in rural work and detailed plans for 2024, noting the record high in grain production in 2023, despite natural disasters. Xi Jinping emphasized the importance of maintaining and increasing grain cultivation and yield, particularly focusing on soybean expansion, to ensure a production target of over 1.3 trillion jin, approximately 650 million tons, in 2024. China's National Bureau of Statistics reported a 1.3% increase in grain production for the year, reaching 13.908 trillion jin, approximately 695 million tons. Despite this, grain imports from January to November 2023 already surpassed the total imports of the previous year, indicating a continuing heavy reliance on imported grains. In response to China's economic downturn and reliance on grain imports, Xi Jinping has called for securing the food supply chain. However, this approach has been met with skepticism from experts. To meet official targets, local governments have resorted to extreme measures, such as demolishing commercial areas to increase farmland. Despite claims of bumper harvests by official media, the data shows a continuous increase in net grain imports each year. Political analyst Kai Shinkuan believes that whenever Sino-US relations tense, Chinese officials call for increasing grain production. However, China's agriculture remains relatively backward, and even with extensive farmland, it's difficult to significantly increase grain output. Kai said, China's agriculture is small-scale and can't develop into a model for managing large tracts of land. Therefore, China's agricultural output has not seen significant growth. Moreover, China's farming costs are higher than in other countries, while foreign agricultural product prices are more stable. This means Chinese farmers earn little or even incur losses. He also critiqued the government's policy of expanding cultivated land as ineffective. Lai Rongwei, assistant professor at Longwei University of Science and Technology, noted that increasing cultivated land through administrative measures is unlikely to significantly improve China's agricultural output or economic environment, drawing parallels to Mao Zedong's failed policies. Tiao Xianmin, a researcher at the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences, highlighted the limitations in increasing production due to overuse of land and high levels of crop utilization and development. He stated, for example, in land use, in major production areas like North China and Northeast China, the land has been overused for a long time, making further production increases quite difficult. As for crops, the utilization and development of major crops, whether in breeding or cultivation technology, are already at a very high level. Overall, these insights paint a complex picture of China's agricultural challenges and the difficulties in achieving self-sufficiency in grain production. Chinese enterprises buying land in the U.S. near B-2 stealth bomber base raises concerns. In August this year, the Kansas City Area Development Council reported that a Chinese-funded enterprise named Nanotechnology USA is preparing to invest in a 330,000 square foot factory in Kansas, U.S. However, the location of Nano USA's plant has caused concern because it is only about 57 kilometers away from the U.S. Army's Fort Leavenworth and about 114 kilometers away from Whiteman Air Force Base, which houses the U.S. B-2 Spirit stealth strategic bomber. Additionally, Nano USA's parent company, China's Gansu Tianai Technology, has undertaken several projects under China's National High-Tech Development Plan, the 863 program. China expert Gordon Chang stated on December 4, 2023, "We know that the CCP is purchasing land near sensitive military facilities. Therefore, unless we fully understand the situation, we should not allow Chinese citizens to own any land in the U.S. Mike Gallagher, chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, said, allowing the CCP or its affiliated entities to buy land near U.S. military bases is a very, very bad idea. Just ask yourself this question: can Americans buy land near military bases in China? Of course, the answer is no. Beijing is using economic corridor to assimilate Pakistan's economy. Under a new set of bilateral trade memorandum of understandings, MOUs, worth $10 billion, China received its first shipment of agricultural goods from Pakistan this week. The two countries are infrastructurally linked by Beijing's China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, the flagship project of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. For economically depressed Pakistan, reeling under a massive debt of about $100 billion, one-third of which is owed to China, the new export-related MOUs with China in agriculture, textile, food, and car parts, according to Pakistan's national newspaper The Dawn, mean a robust commitment to the country's economic growth. Adding to this hope is the first international road transport route, TIR, between Xinjiang's inland city of Kashgar and Pakistan's capital city, Islamabad, along which the two allies started operating in late August. However, the CPEC is much more than an economic project, a geopolitical analyst with special focus on Pakistan said. Beijing is integrating Islamabad's economy into its own. Aparna Pandey, a research fellow at the Hudson Institute and the author of multiple books, said, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, is a flagship BRI initiative which is strategic, not economic, in nature. China's companies are not making money in Pakistan. They are integrating the Pakistani economy with China's and obtaining access to valuable real estate in South Asia that is close to Central Asia and the Gulf. Pakistan, a nation with a strategic geography, was carved out of colonial British India in 1947. It cut through the rich and fertile Indus River basin and held in its international and disputed borders some of the most ancient trade routes linking South Asia with the Middle East on the one hand and with China on the other. Its strategic value increased with the increasing militarization of the region. China's BRI formally entered the country in 2013, with an investment that rose to $65 billion by 2022. However, despite PEC's big promises, for various reasons, Pakistan's economic situation has only worsened in the past decade. This year the situation became alarming as inflation rose to 29.4% in June, with food prices increasing by 40% and transport costs by 20% over the previous year, according to a report by the Lowy Institute, an Australian think tank. According to the report, the extra energy produced by CPEC projects can't be afforded by many Pakistanis, who are struggling to pay the high electricity prices, just as high fuel prices keep people from traveling on the CPEC-built highways. Amidst such economic adversity, Pakistan's reliance on China is increasing by the day. During the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in Beijing in October, Pakistan's Prime Minister, Anwar ul-Haq Kakar, said Islamabad will always stand with China and trust it blindly. Ms. Pandey said, when Pakistan's PM says Pakistan will trust China blindly, it reflects the widespread view prevalent in large segments of Pakistani society that China is the all-weather ally who has and will always stand by Pakistan. Impact on ties with the U.S. Nonetheless, Pakistan's increasing closeness with Beijing hasn't served its relationship with the United States. Ms. Pandey said, the United States wants a relationship with the Muslim-majority country of 240 million. Despite its nuclear weapons and terror groups, Pakistan is located in a critical geographical area. However, there are conditions. She said, the U.S. has no desire to go back to the heyday of the 1980s or even the early 2000s. Pakistan was a key strategic partner to the United States during its various military engagements in neighboring Afghanistan. The situation is complicated, according to Ms. Pandey, because today Pakistan's strong economic and military bonds with China and its overriding strategic imperative are too strong for it to downgrade its relationship with Beijing. Ms. Pandey believes Pakistan would instead like to be able to balance ties with both China and the United States in such a way that it gets benefits from both sides. She said, that is going to be increasingly difficult as Pakistan builds closer technological and military intelligence ties with China, as the U.S. does not want to share technology or high-end military with countries which have strong bonds with China. Pakistan has also shown interest in more American economic investment, but Ms. Pandey believes that for that investment to happen, Pakistan would need to provide a favorable economic environment, stable and consistent regulatory policies, promises to abide by contracts, return on investment, and a secure and stable political environment. India-centric geopolitics. According to Ms. Pandey, one factor that plays a very important role in the increasing ties between China and Pakistan is Beijing's desire to contain India in its backyard. When it comes to India-Pakistan, the geopolitical analyst opined that the historical obstacle has always been the Pakistani military intelligence establishment, which views the improvement of relations with India as antithetical to its interests. She said, Pakistan's civilian leaders and businesses have, at least since the 1990s, wanted to boost trade with India. Pakistan has historically ignored American suggestions that Pakistan improve trade relations with India, but it is possible that given Pakistan's current sustained economic crisis, the Pakistani military may be open to limited trade with India. The United States is encouraging both India and Pakistan to increase their bilateral trade so that they can move away from their increasing dependence on China, she added. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.